We can understand recursive methods by first looking at iterative methods. So here we have a simple method to calculate the factorial of a number, which is the number itself by the previous number, down to 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. So for example, 5 factorial is 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1, which is 120. So here we're starting off with our result being 1, and in each iteration of this loop, which starts from 2 and finishes at the number n, we're multiplying the result by the value of the loop control variable. So we have 1 by 2 in our first iteration, 1 by 2 by 3 after our next iteration has finished, and then that continues until we have 1 by 2 by 3 and so on up to n minus 2, and again up to n minus 1, and finally up to n. So let's just put this here on the next line. So therefore, if we print out our result from our iterative version of the factorial method, so we expect 5 factorial to be 120. So iteration is a bottom-up approach. As we can see, we start from the bottom and finish at the top. Now recursion, on the other hand, is top-down. So we start from the top here and then work our way down to the base case, which is 1. So let's declare a recursive method, which we'll call factorial r for recursive, and that takes in an input being the number that we want to calculate the factorial for. So a recursive method is a method that calls itself. So in our final calculation here, we'll just go backwards. So we have n by n minus 1 factorial. So what we'll do is return n multiplied by our call to our recursive method, and we'll pass in here n minus 1. So n minus 1 factorial is n minus 1 by n minus 2 by n minus 3 and so on by 3 by 2 by 1. So what we expect after our first call to this recursive method is n multiplied by factorial n minus 1. And then after factorial, with an input of n minus 1 is called, what we get is n minus 1 multiplied by factorial n minus 2. And this will continue on forever. So a recursive method contains at least one base case to stop the recursion. So in our case here, the base case is where n equals 1. So if n equals 1, we're going to return 1 because we have factorial of n minus 1, which is factorial 0, and that just returns 1. And that effectively stops the recursion. So this line of code does not get executed. So think about why this base case could cause problems if n equals 0 is input, and try to fix it. So recursive methods contain at least one base case and at least one recursive call. So if we call the recursive version of this factorial method for our number 5, we get the same result. So each recursive call, as we saw, has its own set of formal parameters. So we initially have n when we call our recursive method, and that calls this with n minus 1, and that gets called with n minus 2, and so on. And if we had local variables in here, each recursive call will also have its own set of local variables. And as we can see, the values of the parameters capture the progress of a recursive process. So this is similar to our loop here, where the loop control variable captures the progress of a loop. And we saw that a recursive solution can also be replicated through an iterative approach. So iteration works from the bottom up, and recursion works from the top down.